Vegetables are underconsumed relative to dietary recommendations. Right? We're supposed to be eating about 2 cups of fruit a day. We're eating less than 1. And we're supposed to be eating 2.5 cups of vegetables per day, and we're eating less than 2. So this has environmental impacts as well, because the food system currently accounts for 16% of the energy use in the United States, which is significant. And one of the important ways to reduce food system energy use is to actually shift our consumption of food from food that requires a much heavier degree of processing to food that is more lightly processed, such as fruits and vegetables, which is what we're supposed to be eating anyway from a health perspective. One of the disconnects between farm and health policy can be seen here on this chart. The USDA has MyPlate guidelines, which are dietary recommendations for what people are supposed to be eating. And on each person's plate at every meal, 50% is supposed to be fresh fruits and vegetables. And currently what we're growing that, though, is very few fruits and vegetables. Only 2% of the acreage in the United States is devoted for fruits and vegetables, even though it's supposed to be 50% of the food we're supposed to be eating. So there is a real disconnect between this issue. But it also, in addition to having health benefits, in addition to having environmental benefits, it's also an important way to create jobs. There's about 61,000 jobs nationally on fruit and vegetable farms that sell through local food markets. Fruit and vegetable farms that sell through local food markets are about a $3 billion a year industry. And so, and to translate this into some of the numbers that were presented earlier, this is about 13 full-time equivalent jobs for every $1 million in sales. And this is important from a jobs perspective because these are fairly labor-intensive farms. They produce 4 times as many jobs on these farms as other fruits and vegetable farms that don't sell locally. There's also a misconception, at least in Washington, D.C., which is where I'm from, that farmers that sell through local food markets are part-time hobby farmers. That's actually not the case. Research has found that farmers that sell in the local food markets, relative to other farmers, it's more likely that farming will be their primary occupation, and they're also less dependent upon off-farm income as well. And then the other issue that I want to emphasize, though, is that local food sales also have important economic development implications. And again, these are going to be it's a theme that's been consistent here amongst the panelists. But one way to think about it is this: for every $1 that is spent on food in the United States, farmers are getting less than 16 cents under our current food system. They get a little bit less than 16 cents for every $1 that's spent on food. But if you buy food from a farmer at a farmer's market, they essentially keep the entire $1. They may turn around and buy hire labor locally. They may turn around and buy inputs and other supplies from local stores. They're going to be paying taxes locally. They're going to be investing in the community, on a local or regional level. So you're going to see higher economic multipliers resulting from these types of transactions than you otherwise would. I have 2 different ways I'm going to show this. There was a study done in West Virginia where they